It's John and Rachel, and everything in Pittsburgh deserves a tailgate. What I love is whenever we make excuses for why we're in the service center, you can hear that they're talking to us because everyone is sick of this in Pittsburgh. I'm so over the rain, as everybody else is with their rants on social media. So we are stuck in the service, but we're okay because we're in a really cool car.
Right. So, and
I did start the car inside, just saying.
The other thing is that, look, as Pittsburghers, we know we can handle a really cold or really rainy tailgate.
No doubt. I'm a hockey mom.
Right. There's a special reason that we'll tell you in a minute as to why we really are doing this by Zoom. But we are in this 2019 Toyota Highlander. Check this out. It has like two-tone kind of dashboard. And
Aquafina comes
right
with it.
It's fueled on Aquafina. Look at the back rows here. So the deal is, it's hard to get a new car these days because there's a wait, and you can custom like you do a suit, or you can walk into RohrichToyota
and buy this now.
Buy it right now. Like walk in, and this is
scoot us over.
This is an XLE version of the Highlander.
Yes.
And so
everybody wants a Highlander. I had no idea. As you know, I don't pay attention. I just judge everything by does it fit hockey sticks and 3 kids. But the Highlanders are like the car, and they're good on gas mileage, right?
And don't forget that when you buy something certified used at RohrichToyota, you get the RohrichToyota Advantage, which is you get inspections, oil changes, all that stuff for the life of the car. So,
all right, listen, this is the more important part. So everything in Pittsburgh deserves a tailgate, especially when we are so excited that we are partaking in a really cool event that's happening next Thursday, April 21st at Jimmy's Union. Who knows where Jimmy's Union is?
Yeah, everybody knows Jimmy's Union. Yeah. So Insulators Local 2, based in Beaver County.
Awesome people.
They're going to be a location where you can go get swabbed. You say, what does swab mean? Mm-hmm. Well, go get tested to see if you can help a local Pittsburgh family with a bone marrow transplant.
Yeah, and so it's Be the Match for Jax Ramirez is basically, what this is all about. And we have the mom, like just in quotes, the mom. Missy, thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm great.
Good. Glad to hear it. So we wanted to have you on. And obviously the real reason that we are where we are and you are where you are is because it's raining in Pittsburgh yet again. And we can't, we don't want to put you at risk, right? Is that basically the life you live? Explain a little bit about what your poor son goes through on a regular basis.
That is absolutely the life that I live. We pretty much stay isolated. And you'll hear me talk about this all the time. When COVID-19 hit the world, we had already been living in that way, really locked down and really keeping our son safe and secure. He fights a daily fight that nobody can really understand because on the outside, he looks happy and healthy and vibrant. But on the inside, his body's fighting a really big battle. It fights itself every single day to wake up and enjoy the sunshine or the rain if you're in Pittsburgh.
Right.
So we talked earlier about being a hockey mom and being tough at a tailgate, but I think tougher than a hockey mom would be a mom who's fighting for their child's life, right? And it literally. And so what is happening to Jax that he needs the bone marrow transplant?
So back in October of 2021, Jax was diagnosed with IPEX. It's a super autoimmune bug. It's very rare. 1 in 1.6 million people have that diagnosis. It affects males and it's passed down by moms. And so everybody thinks their child is 1 in a million. And it turns out I really truly have one of those kids. Jax with IPEX, his body is not running in underdrive. It's running on overdrive. It's like at Mach 10 speed. It's like a NASCAR race car, right? And so when anything comes in that's foreign, it obliterates it, and then it starts to attack his organs. So Jax, now we know he was diagnosed very early with type 1 diabetes at 2.5 years old, fighting for his life in diabetic ketoacidosis. We had no idea what was happening. And multiple hospital stays after that led us down really crazy roads. He was intubated with the flu. He was, in a coma for 7 to 10 days. It's just been huge things have happened to this child medically. And we were always left with how and why is this happening to him? He was never sick prior to that. And then he ended up with another diagnosis, another autoimmune disorder at 6 years old called myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis is usually found in elderly, and your body attacks the nerve endings that control your eyes, your tongue, your breathing, your swallowing. And so now he's on immunosuppressants. He's on medications multiple times a day. He takes IVIG. So we have a nurse that comes to our home and does home infusions for him just to keep his body sort of stabilized and regulated as much as we can while we find a perfect match for him, because the only known curative way to stop IPEX in his tracks, figuratively speaking, is to do a bone marrow transplant.
Okay. So that's the charge, everybody out there, that we're tailgating. We're having a good time. We know the Pirates season has started, so I put my hat on. We know that the Penguins are headed to the playoffs. All these cool things are going on where you'll be tailgating, but we want you to go to the Insulators Local 2 next week.
109 Pleasant Drive in Aliquippa. I had to double check my notes because you're right. While we can all enjoy the everyday fun things, we could also change a life. And I think that's pretty important. So you can actually come there and get swabbed. Missy, do you know the swabbing process, like what to expect?
I do. So that's a great question. People ask me that all the time. And so I always wear my swab for the culture shirt. And
so now I swear.
Yes. And I can get anybody that comes t-shirts to spread the word. But ultimately what it is you get this long Q-tip and you rub it on your cheek 10 times, and then you stick it in an envelope. You have to answer various questions like your name, address, phone number, and if you've had any autoimmune diseases. One of the things that knocks you out pretty quickly is if you were a transplant recipient. And we get lots of people who are transplant recipients coming to the table and sharing their story. And it's a beautiful thing. So you should come out anyway. But we're looking for people who are between the ages of 18 and 40 who want to swab their cheek. Then what happens after that is you get put into the Be the Match donor system. It's highly confidential. It's HIPAA regulated. You go in as a code, nothing more. They don't know who you are when you're attached to that code unless you become a match for somebody. And you will be called. 1 in 250-ish people become donors. You will get that call, and we hope that you say yes. I'm on the donor registry. I will absolutely say yes if your family needs me. So I hope that you say yes, because mine absolutely needs you. The thing about the bone marrow registry is people think it's this really crazy procedure. It is not. It is a peripheral blood draw. So if you've given blood, then you're absolutely able to do this too. Within 2 to 3 hours, they take your stem cells and they give you back everything else that we don't need. It's just a stem cell draw. And within 24 hours, that patient is transplanted. They have couriers that deliver it across the nation within 24 hours. And that person is given a rebirth. It's basically their rebirth day because it's their second chance at life, because otherwise they don't have a chance to live. The thing about the bone marrow registry is there are millions of people on this registry, but Jax does not have a match, and he's not alone because there is no diversity on the donor drive. So for example, if you are fully Caucasian, 80% of the time you're going to find a bone marrow match on the current registry as it stands. Only 48% of Hispanic and Latinos will find a match. And then even worse, only 29% of African Americans will find a match. So it's really about medical equality for people of color. So, and you don't know who's going to be a match. And so we've seen African American folks be a match for a Caucasian person, which is your human leukocyte antigen. And you've got a string of 12 that we're really looking to match perfectly with someone else. Everyone has a match. Jax is just a little harder to find. They told me it was going to be like winning the lottery. I'm going to win this. Never won a single lottery. I don't really win anything, but we're going to win this because of the support in our town.
Absolutely. So it's April 21st, 5 p.m. Show up at the Insulators and get swabbed. And really, it's super that easy. And imagine what you would feel if you were the person that was Jax's match.
Can't imagine.
Right.
There's a QR code that can make it even easier to register, and we'll make that available as well. So you can go to the social media. We'll put the link in here so that you can make it happen. Missy, thank you so much for my afternoon cry and for obviously giving us the time today. We certainly appreciate it. And we'll be praying for you as well.
So when Jax gets a match, we're going to tailgate that thing. And what will you eat or drink at that tailgate?
What will I eat or drink at Jax's tailgate? I mean, I think it will be like margaritas and craft beer for everybody, because that's what my husband and I run on.
Listen, you're my kind of person. We get it.